المنشأ العظيم بلدة واحة السلام والمؤسسات التربوية الموجودة به.
With your help and your support, we will continue to build and develop this amazing community with the institution, the members, the families, and the next generation, and the education system will stay and bloom and develop.
نأمل بهذه الحديقة أن نعبر ولو بشيء صغير عن تقديرنا واعتزازنا بأصدقاء واحة السلام في جميع أنحاء العالم.
I hope with this garden to see it as a thank you for all of our friends and supporters and allies and partners around the world.
بالنسبة لبيتر درايفوس لم يكن مفهوما تلقائيا أن يكون أصدقاء لواحة السلام مثل هذا الصديق الذي تعرفت عليه قبل أكثر من 20 سنة.
It's not taken for granted to meet and to have the privilege to meet someone like Peter Dreyfus 20 years ago, and he became a friend for many years for our village.
وهو لم يكتفي بزياراتنا في واحة السلام والعمل من أجل واحة السلام، فكان يستضيفنا في بيته كجزء من عائلته في بيته في سويسرا.
It wasn't enough that he visited Wahat al-Salam many times. When every time we came to his village, to his town, he opened the doors, opened his heart to our community, to our members, and host us as a family members.
شكرا لكم جميعا وشكرا لعائلة درايفوس الذين شرفونا بهذا الحضور اليوم.
Thank you all, and special thanks for Dreyfus family who share this beautiful ceremony with us today. I want to call maybe two kids from the village, Shnei Ladim, Waladin, or from Dreyfus family to open or to release the veil of this statue. Two volunteers.
ילדים, היא רוצה מתנדבים להוריד את הבד. לא, היא אמרה ילדים. טוב. מישהו רוצה?
אנחנו לא הבאנו ילדים, קידום זה דרייפוס פעם. בדיוק.
נוגה, לך תעזור. הם ביקשו ילדים. אור. לך תעזור.
1, 2, 3. So I want to say a few words about the work. The artist is one of the Palestinian artists from Ramleh. His name is Nihad Dabit. His kids actually learn in the school, and he's an old member, and he's active in the art gallery with Diana activities. And he designed the symbol of Wahat al-Salam, Neve, Shalom. And when he put that on this big stone, he told me, like, this place is full of beautiful members, beautiful families, and this thing. And he asked me, how many people are here? I told him 300, and he asked how many families. I said 70 families. So the next day, he bring this idea to bring stones to fill that statue with 70 stones. So I asked Nihad, but we are different people, we are diverse people. And then he said, so we'll bring colorful stones to fill this thing. And I hope that the next AGM, the next friend that we celebrate in this Garden of Friends, this statue will be full of new families and new members, and we will celebrate that together. So Nihad Dabit is this is his beautiful statues for us. volunteering. He contributed that to the community, I have to say.
Now we're going to move to the stone where we put the plaque for Peter, because we would like now to relate to Peter. So please, we'll move here. You can come around. I just want to say that we also have Sonia here with us. She's here.
On the phone?
On the phone, on the WhatsApp, with the technique of today. She couldn't come with the flight, it was too difficult, and Jean-Luc is here to represent the family. But Sonia is here in our phone, and she sees us and is part of our ceremony.
Hello.
Okay. Dear Jean-Luc, dear relatives and friends of Peter, dear friends of the Shalom Wahat al-Salam from all over the world, dear members of the Shalom Wahat al-Salam. Even so, during the last years, Peter didn't participate anymore in the AGM. I still miss him here very much. In his silent way, his presence was full of power. We always felt in him we have a very strong supporter who trusts us, basically, that we know what we are doing. For me personally, Peter was much more than just a friend of Neve Shalom Wahat al-Salam. Together with Sonia, his wife, they were kind of adopted parents for us. When my parents didn't approve my decision to marry Iyas, he's there, it was Peter and Sonia and Sabine who wedded us. For me, as a psychotherapist, he was also much more experienced colleague whom I admired very much. During our long trips to different places in Switzerland, where I would give talks about Neve Shalom Wahat al-Salam, we used to exchange ideas about our work. In our psychotherapeutic work, we use our whole being to think and our inner emotional world to understand. This is exactly how Peter engaged himself for our Neve Shalom Wahat al-Salam. It started in '83 when he first came to Neve Shalom Wahat al-Salam with a small group of people interested in peace work in Israel. He observed a youth workshop in the Peace School with Nava and Iyas as facilitators and became so impressed with the process that he decided, this is the work and place I want to support. Back in Switzerland, together with his cousin Peter Dreyfus, he founded the Association of Swiss Friends of Neve Shalom Wahat al-Salam. Until 2012, during 29 years, he worked on the board of the association in various functions. Most of the time, he presided it. Under his leadership, the Swiss Friends have become one of our most important supporting organizations. For many years, Peter led the association like a family business. Sonia, his wife, Sylvia, his sister, and Sabine, his daughter, came for years every Thursday to its practice. There they did all the public relation work and took care of the members. 2 or 3 times a year, a newsletter was sent out. For this, the entire extended family was recruited to pack and address envelopes. And I know that some of you family and friends, when you have been there, when there was a sending out, you were recruited for that also. I know it. Not only was all the work done by Peter and his closest family, that also the entire administrational costs were paid by him, so that almost 100% of the donations could be sent to the construction of Neve Shalom Wahat al-Salam with its growing peace educational institutions. The members were treated like personal friends. The annual meetings took place in Dreyfus' home, including lunch prepared with love and care by Sonia. Peter was one of our personal friends that without him, Neve Shalom Wahat al-Salam simply could not have come into existence. We are very glad that we may dedicate to Peter this beautiful corner in his beloved Neve Shalom Wahat al-Salam as a small sign of our great gratitude for all the years of energy and heart he invested in being a dear partner to Neve Shalom Wahat al-Salam. And we are very glad and thankful that Sabine, his daughter, and Gabi, his long-year neighbor, continued together with the Swiss board his work of his heart.
First, I want to read a few words. Sonia wrote and asked me to read for her. I'm reading away part of it because it's the same as Evie just said, but she also said that her friendship with Evie, Ayas and their children is a very delighted friendship, and that lots of people who live in this place began and got more and more developed over all these years, enriched her lives and her connection and Peter's connection with Neve Shalom Wahat al-Salam. This village and its inhabitants took a very large place in Peter's, now Sonia is saying this, our children's and our friends' hearts. We had innumerable encounters and developed deep friendships. We are happy that this project brought many good results, and we are all very touched that Peter gets this honor to have a place in the park in your village to remember him. I'm sure it will give him a lot of pleasure. Jean-Luc will represent our family at this inauguration. I would like to thank you all and wish only the best for this wonderful place in Israel. I'm also very thankful to Gabi Ozel, who took over the presidency of the Swiss Friends of Neve Shalom Wahat al-Salam. He's doing an excellent work. With many regards, Sonia. So that is from my mother. And I also want to say a few words on behalf of myself. Well, I appreciate the fact that so many people came here to Neve Shalom Wahat al-Salam also to remember my father, who passed away last year. And it's a great honor for Peter to see you all here. And it's a lovely place to say goodbye to him, where his spirit lives on. Peter was attached to Israel, and it was one of his greatest wishes that people could live here in peace. He himself said that tolerance was the most important thing he learned from his father. And it's also a trait I admired my father for. Peter was not a person who spoke a lot, but he could listen very well. And when he said something, it was always well thought about and clear. He respected people for who they are and not for where they come from or even what religion they might have. It was only natural for him that people of different religions should be able to live together peacefully, and that is why he supported this place here. I want to thank Gabi, who's continuing to do Peter's work with the same dedication, and I want to thank you all here in Neve Shalom for honoring my father in this way. Thank you.
אומרים שבתי הקברות מלאים באנשים שלא היה להם תחליף.
They say that the cemetery is filled with people that can't be replaced.
תרשו לי לחלוק על האמירה הזאת, בלי לפגוע בגבי, ואני חושב שפיטר לא היה לו תחליף.
Without hurting Gabi, I want to oppose this point of view and say, for Peter, there isn't anyone who can replace him.
אני פגשתי את גבי, את פיטר, זה אומר משהו גבי שאני מתבלבל.
He said he met Gabi and realized he made a mistake and said, well, that says something about Peter, about Gabi.
זה אומר שהוא מאוד מאוד קרוב למה שפיטר עשה.
He's very close to what Peter did.
אני פגשתי את פיטר בתחילת הדרך שלו ושלנו בנווה שלום.
We met Peter at the beginning of Peter's relationship with Neve Shalom, Wahat al-Salam, and at the beginning of his relationship with Neve Shalom, Wahat al-Salam.
וכמו שז'ניק אמר, פיטר אחד האנשים שהוא מקשיב, מפנים, ואז הוא מגיב.
And as was said, Peter is one of the few people who listen, who think, and only then respond.
וזו תכונה שמאוד מאוד קשה להרבה מאוד מאיתנו.
That's a characteristic which is very rare to many of us.
פיטר לווחת סלאם נווה שלום,
Peter to Neve Shalom, Wahat al-Salam,
אחד האנשים והתורמים יחד עם כל המשפחה והידידים השוויצרים שמרגישים אותו כמעט בכל פינה ביישוב שלנו.
like many of the Swiss friends, he is someone whose contribution and whose presence is felt in many of the corners of the village.
מיליונים של פרנקים שוויצרים שהגיעו לווחת סלאם נווה שלום, זה בזכותו, בזכות המשפחה שלו.
Millions of francs that came to Neve Shalom, Wahat al-Salam, and helped build and develop the relationship came from him, his family, and many people who he had support the village.
לא רק התמיכה הכספית שקיבלנו מפיטר ומשפחתו והידידים השוויצרים, אלא גם האימון שאין לו גבולות שהוא נתן בנו ובעשייה שלנו.
Not only the financial support, but the trust that he gave us and he gave the community in its growth and development.
אימון בלי גבולות שאני מקווה שלא אכזבנו אותו ונהגנו לפי מה שהיינו צריכים לנהוג.
Faith and trust that he gave us without boundaries, which I hope we return to him as well.
רוצה להגיד משהו אישי שפיטר בשבילנו ובשביל המשפחה שלנו, כמו שאבי אמרה, היה האבא והסבא שלנו ושל הבנות שלנו.
I want to say something personal about my relationship with Peter, who was a father to us and a grandfather to our children and a close friend.
לנו היה בית תמיד פתוח בווילדנקין, איפה שפיטר גר.
We always had an open door, an open home in Wilbanken, where Peter lived.
אני חושב מה שעשינו היום זה משהו שהיינו צריכים לעשות מזמן, אבל עדיף מאוחר מאף פעם.
What we're doing today is something that we should have done long ago, but it's best that we're doing it now and rather than not at all.
נזכר לי הבוקר שביום החתונה שלנו, שהיה אצל פיטר בבית, שהם לא האמינו שזה קורה, קרוב ל-70 אנשים בתוך הבית, עם אוכל מכל הסוגים והמינים, עם אורחים שלנו ושלהם, שבדקה ה-90 הוא נזכר שאין לו קלטת וידאו בשביל לצלם.
I was remembering this morning our wedding day at Peter's house with 70 guests, food from all different countries and all different types of food. And Peter suddenly realized that he didn't have a cassette to videotape the wedding.
ואז הוא אמר לי, בוא אנחנו נוסעים לקנות קלטת וידאו, יום ראשון רוב החנויות סגורות, ונסענו קרוב ל-70 קילומטר בשביל לחפש בתחנות הדלק.
So on Sunday, when most of the stores are closed, they went out and traveled nearly 70 kilometers to find an open gas station to buy a tape to videotape the wedding.
ואז אמרתי לו בדרך שלא נורא, בלי זה, זה גם יכול להיות בלי זה, ואז הוא אמר לי את המשפט שאני אף פעם לא אשכח, שיש רגעים בחיים שצריך לתעד אותם.
I said to Peter, look, it really doesn't matter if there's no videotape. We'll get married anyway. And Peter said a sentence that E.S. will never forget, that there are times in life when things happen that you really must document them and have them for prosperity.
Thank you. The next speaker is Gabi.
Actually, we shouldn't talk about me, because the more they bring me in connection with Peter, the heavier the burden. So it's anyway. Let me just have very few words this occasion. Let me talk to you as friend, personal friend, very good friend and neighbor of Peter, which means, as I am a neighbor, some of the faces showing up here I have seen before. And this brings me to the point, to the question, what was actually the success of Peter's really excellent work? And there are two answers. Now, answer number one is Peter was an excellent networker. Everybody who wants to learn about networking, he should have talked to Peter. It was the way he could involve people and also engage people and make them enthusiastic about the project was unique. And the second, not less important factor was the kitchen of Sonia, because they all came here and they had fantastic food and they came back. And so it grew, and so it was successful. So now when I look at this, and I thought, what would Peter think? Or what does he think now when he looks down here, when he sees this? And I was asking myself, what would be the answer? And I thought, certainly Peter would not really have wanted this, but he would have let us down. Be it as it may, it's good, Avi, it's been done. Thank you.
I understood that Benya will talk a few words as the representative of the family and friends here in Israel. That's what I talked to Ruby.
I didn't understand it, but
Ruby didn't tell you? Spontaneously.
sorry, I didn't understand
She
it.
said
But
that you make it very short.
yeah, okay. I was listening to what people said. I was also taking pictures, but the eyes and the ears are different, so I was listening, and everything had. And everything was said. you started everything. I mean, Peter, yes, was a good listener, but he had his charisma. He could create a followership. I'm one of his followers. And yeah, and Sonia pushed from the back. So everything was said. Everything was said.
Thank you very much. I think the presence of the family members and the friends that came here spontaneously, I must admit, I invited you only in, I think 10 days ago, something like that, and you all responded, yes, of course, we're coming. We would even have come if you wouldn't have invited me. So I'm really glad, and think this respects also the influence of Peter that came. And I think you got a lot of visits from Peter because of us. And also vice versa. Sometimes we got visits from Peter and Sonia because of you. So thank you for the family and friends that you're here. And Samach would like to say some more words.
So the Garden of Friends, it's for all our friends. Peter is the first one who encouraged us when we started in the C&D office to think about what we can do for Peter. We thought that we have so many friends around the world. We have so many partners and alliance and supporters that all deserve to be in this garden while they are still with us. And I think that this moment that we share the space, share the food, share the atmosphere and feel the energy, all of the goodwill and good intention and the spirit of all of our friends for the last 40 years are surrounding us and watching us. And I want to thank all the new families and the kids who came and they're preparing the picnic there. I want to thank, special thanks for Rita because she designed this place with Nurit. Nurit is also a member of Wahat al-Salam. We all volunteer and the staff volunteers. And it's not a coincidence that we have Dario. Dario is a Swiss new volunteer in the village. He landed 2 weeks ago and he worked very hard to arrange this event, and he's still working there. So we are happy with the volunteers, the interns, Rita and her staff, and we are really, really thrilled and happy and honored to have you all together with us today. Thank you all.
Now we would like to invite Jean-Luc to reveal the plaque for Peter, and then we'll have a final song just to finish the ceremony, and then you're all invited to have the picnic that partly is from Salim and Bernard's kitchen and partly from the people from the Shalom Wahat al-Salam who cooked for all of us. That's the kind of picnic we do. Everyone brings something and just sit together and have a good time together. Okay, please. Toma, אתה שם את השיר? Just a minute, okay? עכשיו, that's a song that I think is symbolic for all our vision.
Bluetooth mode.
Imagine Jean-Luc, you're invited to reveal the plate. Just pull it away. Okay, we finish here. You're all invited to have picnic together. Thank you very much for participating. Thank you, Sonia. It's so good to have you here. Look, here is